Hi, Miss Naughton. I'm here to talk to you about the 1920s, the Roaring Twenties, basically, and how its effects came from this great period of time. Okay, so let's talk about Henry Ford, the assembly line. Without him, I can't even imagine my life now because I'm in the car at least once, like 1 to 3 times a day. I can't even imagine it. So he created the assembly line. He created the car. First off, he created the car. Without him, I don't know what anyone would do in their lives today. So the assembly line was where he would, instead of like multiple people work on one car, they would work on one part of the car, and they would it cut down time and enabled him to have mass production of the cars, which was a really smart business decision for him. Okay, so let's talk about the bull market, which is basically the center of all the stock market and the money and all that, banks and stuff like that. Installment buying was basically like a small down payment. People would put small down payments and they would get loans and they would buy like utilities and needs for the house and stuff like that, and they would have to pay it back later. Yet again, same thing with buying on the margin credit, which obviously didn't work because of the Great Depression, because people weren't able to pay back that money. Okay, so Harding dies, Coolidge takes over for him during his term, finishes out his term, and Coolidge, so during this time, like, there was still tensions after World War One, and there was a threat of like an arms race in Europe and everything like that. So, they did this pact called the Kellogg Brand Pact, which would basically, like, they just wanted to prevent a war. The Dawes Plan was like when the U.S. just basically lended out money to Germany, which was another fact of how like we got into the Great Depression, because we loaned out so much money to people and they weren't paying us back either. Okay, so talk about modernism versus traditionalism. So it's basically these two beliefs and they're just clashing. Like, they're just opposite, they grow up in opposite worlds basically, like people from rural areas, from urban areas, people who believe in religion, people who believe in science, people who are Republicans, people who are Democrats. Everyone that has these different beliefs, it butt heads because they don't view their side as correct, or at least, you know what I mean? With this came fundamentalism, which was basically back to religion, how the Protestants believed that their Bible was law, that was their center of control, was the Bible. That's it, no science. And with this, like, the quota law came, immigrants, U.S. wanted to limit immigrants from entering the country, and kind of like this whole problem with this was like people with different beliefs didn't want other people with beliefs coming in. Like, the Protestants didn't like how the Catholics were coming in, and it's just basically, yet again, butting heads, different beliefs. Okay, Prohibition, 18th Amendment. Everyone just kind of took it as a joke, because, I mean, kind of was, because people still continued to moonshine, and there's bootleggers, and I mean, come on, Al Capone, there's underground, like, trades with this whole system of it. There's a whole big business of alcohol, and the U.S. lost money out of this because they could have been taxing this alcohol, you know? Okay.